Welcome to Creative Pages with Catherine. I'm Catherine. It's time for the next challenge from the 101 Scrapbooking Ideas and Sketches book. This is my edition of Sketch with Me from our Birds and Blossoms collection. I am going to be working from page 55, and I will link the blog post in the description box below this video if you would like to follow along. I think you all are going to enjoy seeing my interpretation of the sketch. This one came together pretty quickly and easily, so let's take a look. All right, so this is page 55 in our book, and here is what I have done. I've made a couple of notes because I am going to be using, instead of a strip of paper running through the page, I decided to pull out my Floral Peaks decorative border punch, and you can almost see a little bit up here, do something a little bit different, which maybe is why you watch my channel. I don't know. I hope so. I hope you all enjoy this though. You are going to need your Floral Peaks decorative border punch. I used it to punch two borders from a single strip of our Canary cardstock. I've done this twice, so I have two strips that are 2 3/4 inch by 12 inches. And then I just took my scissors and I cut along this groove that was at the end of the punched piece here. So here you can see it on both ends here. I don't know if this is the one that actually belongs to this one, but when I looked at it straight through here, I didn't like how it ended with the straight edges. So I decided to get out my scissors and cut along here. So you can see where this, like in the center, almost forms a little bit of a diamond shape. And the floral peaks are at the top. So I think this is the leaf shape from the punch. And let me hold this up a little bit closer so you all can see it maybe a little bit better here. You can see through here where we have the floral peak, but on this opposite part, we have this almost diamond of leaves. And that's essentially what I cut, was just along this end part of the diamond of leaves. If that helps to explain it a little bit better. And the same thing along this one, you can see there's a little arc here where you can just follow when you cut. I went up from one end, up from the other end, just following the flow of the natural way that the paper was flowing. And that's what I cut out on both ends. And like I said, top and bottom, made it easier than trying to go through the whole thing. So let me know if you need me to do a short demonstrating this. It just worked out really nicely. When I lined it up in the punch one direction, I flipped it and I did it the other direction, and voila, we wound up with this beautiful decorative piece we can use on our designer paper instead of a just diagonal strip. So I have picked 2 sheets of designer paper, and these are Birds and Blossoms. You can see them both here actually. So I picked the ones with the kind of the ginkgo leaf shapes on it. You can see how I put it together here. So one has stripes, one had the other floral behind it, and I just mixed and matched. So my outer frame on this one is in the center of my other side of the page, and vice versa, floral and floral. But on the back side, we have these beautiful light and dark green leaves to play with. And then I just took one of my index sheets. I cut 2-inch by 10-inch strips, and I just fortified it all the way around because it's, the piece is exact because you're cutting your frame. So if you would like me to show you how to do that as well, please just leave a comment. I'll be happy to show you what I did. So now that I've explained pretty much what I've done, let's put this layout together. I am going to grab my repositionable tape first, And we're going to put this border down. I guess it really doesn't matter because it's all cardstock here. We just want to get the ends and I guess through here a bit with our rebo. And oh, it looks good. Okay, so we're going to go a little bit above and a little bit below. So that way, see, it's not going to go corner to corner. I mean, you could, but we're actually going to angle it. This is what they did on the inspiration sketch, as I've come to start calling them, through the center, kind of offset. It's about an inch down and an inch up from these two corners to the end of your border. And then I have, let's see, what did my thing say? I have 5 4x6 mats. We're going to use 3 on the left side and 3 on the right, but this one's going to take less pictures than what I normally do. So on the inspiration sketch, let me show you all real quick before I start talking about what I have here. They actually recommend a 4 by 5.5 inch photo, a 4 by 3 photo, and a 3 by 4 photo. So I wanted to get at least 2 4 by 6 photos on there, and this piece here just inspired me. So I pulled out that 4 by 6 mat from our mat pack. This is from my garden with love. It just was so pretty. I love the back side as well, but you can only use one side here. And that one's going to go up a little. And then I have some avocado cardstock that I cut 4 mats from. So that I have 4 4 by 6 mats for mine here. And then the 6 mat from our mat pack. And then that index sheet that I took and cut up on the back side of my layout, I also used to do a 4 by 4 mat. So I'll show you that on the other side, because this side we're going to have the 3 4 by 6 mats. So it's, like I said, it's a little bit less than what I usually do, but that's kind of what this layout just felt like to me, I guess. It's kind of a harder one with having the frame, with having the decorative piece through here. I felt good to get 2 larger photos on it. And then, like I said, I just really thought this brought in the colors. It ties our canary to our pages, and it just looks pretty. Very simple and pretty. So let me bring in, this was the left side of our page. I'll hold it up for you all. There you go. So I do have it below the line here, going into the frame a little bit with my 2 mats on the bottom there. And then on the right side, we are going to do the same thing, basically. We're going to grab our repositionable tape, and we are going to run it through the same direction, this piece with our floral peak border here, or double border, or however you want to call it, about an inch and an inch going across. Yes, you can get your rulers if you would like. And then when I went to place these mats, I started with the 4 by 4 because I figured this is probably going to wind up being my journal mat. And initially I was thinking it would have worked up here because we have our floral side on the bottom corner. But when you're writing, you don't want to feel all of this underneath it. So I moved this one up in the top, and this one is going to go this way. Okay. So it just, sometimes it's like putting together a little bit of a puzzle, just figuring out where things make sense. And, you know, I didn't want to cover up the entirety of what we punched, but I mean, you want to see some of it, but you also want to get your photos onto the page. And you can put smaller photos if you want. I just like to try to make some of this easy for myself when I go to put photos on my pages. There we go. There's this one. And this one. So if you decide you would rather journal on your white part either here or on your frame somewhere, you know what? Go for it. That's up to you. I just really liked the idea of having a separate space for journaling. And yes, it is going to be 4 photos this time. You might be able to fit another smaller one in here. If you're willing to cut down your photos, you could fit another smaller one over here. But this is it. I'm not adding any stickers this time. It just doesn't need it because we have the frame and we have this double border that's just enough, I think, for our page. And then our photos will be on there, and that's all you really need, right? A little bit simpler this time. So let me show you our sketch again. Here it is. And here's my version of it. Let me know what y'all think. Do you think it needs some stickers? I looked at the birds and the bird nests, and I looked at the flowers here, but then I thought, well, I don't really have any other blue on the page except for this here. I mean, so you could put these kind of in the corners. And you spent the time cutting, not just let things be simple. All right, let's get a card done. One of the other things I've been challenging myself to do with each of these videos has been to make a card using up some scraps or just being inspired by the sketch. And honestly, I didn't have really any scraps from that layout we just put together, but I did from my butterfly card. That is a video that went up, I think, last night. So to make the butterfly, it's on my channel. I used this birdhouse paper as my base. It's the blue birdhouses with the birds on it. The backside is the canary gingham. And so I just went ahead and cut this for another card base. And then I had essentially a 1-inch strip left. So I cut that in half. So I have a 1/2 inch by 4 1/4 here, twice. And I have my 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 piece that I'm going to put onto one of my blank cards from my card kit and reinforce your end that people will be opening, just so that way your cards don't flap. All right, so there's that. And then we can, I don't know, maybe should we be influenced by that sketch and put our, yeah, let's go ahead and do it this way. I thought about just doing it kind of in here, but that does look so linear now after we were just doing the other thing with the sketch. So let's do this. Let's be influenced a little bit by our sketch, which is one of the things I do try to do. And we'll go ahead and these kind of offset a bit here, but within the length of the card, my angle a bit here, so make sure that stays within the length of the card. There we go. And then this, You Are My Sunshine. I just thought, you know what, let's brighten up somebody's day by sending them with this card. Oh, it looks like it's got a cutout you could take out, but I'm not going to. Ooh, yep, it's coming apart. You could pop it up, but I'm not going to do that either because I want to send it without extra postage for this one. And we're just going to run this right in between our gingham canary pieces here. Whoops. Okay, my sunshine was coming apart a little bit. That's okay. So send it to a friend and brighten their day this spring. It almost looks like you can pick up the gingham a little bit better down here. All right, so that's it for this Sketch With Me edition for Birds and Blossoms. I hope you all enjoyed seeing my sketch interpretation and my card inspired by our sketch. Leave me a comment. Hit the thumbs up button. Until next time.